And welcome back. I am now joined by Spencer Duncan, Topeka City Councilman and newly elected Topeka Mayor. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a little surreal, but here I am.
There you go. That's very exciting. So I remember, I think it was back in March, we had you on when you had just announced your race. So we kind of talked about a handful of things while you were running, being a voice for people, and then the 3 issues that you wanted to, you kind of saw as a priority for Topeka. So kind of going back, you kind of touched on housing being crucial in this community.
Yeah, housing, public safety, infrastructure issues. I think the biggest thing that got reinforced as I went through the campaign was my commitment to bringing people's voices back to City Hall, making sure people feel like they have more input to the process and are more part of the process. And as I hit the campaign trail, that was overwhelmingly a, yes, please, can you find ways to get us more involved and feel like there's not a wall between us and City Hall. And so that one really resonated as I did the campaign the last few months.
So moving forward, when you do take office, how do you still plan on hearing the people of Topeka about their issues?
One of the things I put forward that I plan to start implementing in the next month, and then when I, in January, take office, make sure we're doing is putting together some task force and committees that report directly to the mayor. They don't have to go through staff. They don't have to go through other elected. They have a voice directly to me sitting in the room. So then there's no filter. And then I can hear what they're saying and what they think the priorities of the city should be. And then I can go back to the council. And I can go back to the city manager and say, hey, why aren't we doing these things? Because this is what I'm hearing that we really should be focusing on.
So another thing, talking about property tax relief. So how do you plan to address that issue? So
it's twofold. We have some things we can always do on the local level. Lowering the mill, looking at our budget, making sure that it's efficient and that we're lowering costs. But there's also a state component to this, and they have got to make some changes to the law, to the valuation system. In my other job, the League of Kansas Municipalities, where I work with all the cities of Kansas, we're going to continue to advocate that, and we should take the lead on that as the capital city to get the state to understand, make your adjustments, and then we can continue to further make other adjustments because we don't control the valuation system.
Sure, and with that actually being said, how do you plan to advocate for Topeka at the State House level?
Yeah, we are the capital city and we need to act like it, and that means having a strong voice. Those legislators spend a large majority of their time either back home or in our own city, and so they've got a little ownership to the city too. So we just need to be there, have a strong voice, and remind them that we are important. So is Wichita and Johnson County and Wyandotte. We love them too, but we are the capital city. We've got to continue to emphasize that.
So are there any policies that you plan to implement or address immediately within your first 100 days?
I don't think anything immediate. I don't have like, I'm going to get this done.
Sure.
I think bringing people in really is something in those first 100 days to get that input and get those processes started, to start opening up those doors for people. So then I can set the priorities after that 100 days of what we should be focusing on.
Sure, and congratulations again. Kind of moving on to City Council here for a second. To my understanding, City Council is usually, what, Tuesday nights?
Yeah, it was Veterans Day yesterday, so it's tonight, so our schedules are a little off. I think tonight's kind of a shorter agenda. I will say we have on there, which will probably be talked about, is the first conversation about a rental registry for landlords. I've never actually thought about that issue. I'm going to be very fascinated, like everyone else, to see that presentation, but I think that will be a much discussed issue in this community as we move forward with that conversation.
There you go. Thank you so much. It was great to have you on again.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, and we'll send it back over to Eli.